Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Oh, one of the loudest. We're here at 3 in the morning. Hardly anybody here. The others half asleep. Ben Zmanim is starting. Oh, agreement. We got to fill up the seats. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Here we go. Awesome. Oh, so we had a schos. All of us. To be in a generation of one of the greatest, of the great. I don't think there was a single person that didn't hold of him as the gadol of the Poisek Adar. Rabbi Yashiv. And he was so inspiring. And my favorite video, probably of all time, I watched it 1,000 times, is this video. I know they put it in, Gary I don't want to show you the whole thing. But this video was taken at about 2, 3 in the morning. Just you have to understand when it was taken. 2, 3 in the morning, his grandson snuck in there, put a video camera and ran out. He hid there. And he doesn't know that they're taking video of him. And just to see a person at that age, in his high 90s, at 3 in the morning doing this. I showed this to my father, and my father explained to me what was bothering him, and then, yeah. He says, oh, there's b'chayras and this, and what's Rashi saying here, like this. The mat Evazei is thinking now. Oh, look at this. It's insane. This is one of the best, all-time best. Huh? Yeah, we're the whole thing. Anyway, the crazy amount that he learned every day. This is in his 90s, but he was nifter at 100 and his own children's weddings. He would go in, he'd do whatever he had to do, but he would leave always in the middle, go back to Seder. He was just a machine. Anyway, his neshama should have an aliyah. Halavai Klal Yisrael should have more of him. Unbelievable. All right, was noch? Rebelli, the video Friday, the man coming home with a new baby hippo was hysterical. It looks like Mishviger. Please disregard any emails from all the haters. There's a large majority, I don't know if you're saying, maybe you meant that was the line. There's a large majority of us that love this humor, but more importantly, that you laugh along with us. There's no great enjoyment for me than seeing you crack up too. You continue to walk the perfect balance of teaching us Torah and having a good time every day while turning daf and daf. Your team rocks and totally gets it. When we all continue this journey of steiging and laughing together, your Talmud and Chassid, Dov Eisenberger. Ari Chaimowitz is Kahal Lina Tzedek Satellite is now at the Geldzeiler Chabura Shul on a Utrecht. Motzi Shabbos and Cedarhurst, Rabbi Isai. How did Daf change your life? Share your story. NachmanSeltzer@gmail.com. He was so overwhelmed with all the emails that he got last night that he's busy now writing them. Hi, Rebbitzin. I got this. I read it. And Shalom Yisrael. Last night I read it in Hebrew and I started choking up. I'm going to read it again. I'm not going to choke up now, but this is from the famous Spicy. By the way, great shidduch catch. Great shidduch catch. You just need a girl that could handle all his spicy energy. He is a great guy, Mamish. He's a sweetheart, he just has crazy energy. And about chesed shein kamoyo. Listen to this. He's young, 24, 23, I don't know. Hi, Rebbitzin. Don't know how to get to Rebelli, but I guess this is the best way. Hashem has given me another, I'm already choking up. Another beautiful opportunity to get back to Camp Simcha this year. Camp Simcha, if you don't know, camp for very sick children. This will be my eighth year and fourth as division head. I have the youngest division kids with cancer ages 3 to 9, cuties. Don't really have time to myself. Side note, I sleep with the kids and counselors in a private room, so if they need any help in the middle of the night, I'm there. My schedule, I get back from programming and everything with my costume, at like 3 a.m. every day. Have everything imaginable on me, from chemo throw up to food, sweat, to everything, you name it. My kids wake up around then, so I usually take them out to the lobby, give them baby kisses and put them back to sleep. Usually get into bed at 4 a.m. And the next thing I know, they're jumping on me early morning and we're on to Spicy Golf Cart. He has a golf cart, and it's the Spicy golf cart. Haven't missed a day of the daf since I came back from camp. And I really don't want to, but there's very limited time I have with myself in camp. 30 plus days is really a long time to catch up. Would love to know an answer to this. Thank you so much. And a spicy shout out in today's daf, let's go. No, anybody have Eitzah?
Keep going.
So the Eitzah that we came up with, what? Oh, nothing but the daf, on high speed maybe, for 10 minutes. Whatever you maspik, you maspik. Watch the campers. If they're able to. All right, we love you, Spicy. Spicy, you know what I noticed? Look at this, I'm not even gonna look at him. Look at Alex, look what he's wearing. Alex. Show it. So go like this. Yeah, he's wearing the Twillery. How about you?
I signed up because I sat with the son one day. I signed up.
You went to Camp Simcha?
I signed up.
Oh, you sat by Twillery and you signed up people. Was the shear on the screen when you came in? Only when I come, he turns it on, right? Official edition, MDY Shas Mesechta Zevin Yal Sholof. Perek. Yitzi Hollander, Lilinish Masora Tziro Bas Doiv Ber. I don't know, I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't know, there's some people that are built for Camp Simcha, some people are not. I mean, I wish I was. I wish I had that in me. Kids that are sick, I'll be crying the whole time. Daf Ayin Daled, Mendy Chaimovich. How do you pronounce this? Apparently like that. Jaimovich, Chaimovich. Lilinish Mas Pinchas Aaron Ben Sioy. The Masechta, David Salomon dedicated in memory of Avi Moiri. Reb Shmuel Baruch Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zichron Livracha, the Pasuk Family Foundation. May our Limud Torah during the 3 weeks bring us closer to the Yemei Geula V'Simcha. He was there at Austria. Anonymous, Hatzlacha Baruchnis Ubagashmis, and thank you to Chief Benny. Yaakov, Makor Hashama. Shmuel and Ahuva Schuster for continuing Hatzlacha and Nachas from our children. Anonymous, for completely refor Shleim and Arichas Yom to Leah Bas Esther. Chaim and Leah Levi, in honor of the MDY family. Anonymous, for my birthday and as a schus for that Hatzlacha of my family, Baruchni Ubagashmi. Ari Simon, Lefor Shlema, Avimoiri, Baruch Ben Miriam. Anonymous, Lunishmas Yonatan Eitan Ben Mordechai Zevak Kohen Zuchron Levracha. The Tzviz, Lunishmas Yonatan Eitan Ben Mordechai Zevak Kohen Zuchron Levracha. Weekly sponsor, Spanish year sponsor, Big Refor Shlema, with a close friend, Naftali Heretz Ben Chai Pestia. The West Hes said, MDY Chever, Lunishmas Yonatan Eitan Ben Mordechai Zevak Kohen Zuchron Levracha. We mourn the loss of a beloved son of our Kehila. The months MDY firefighters, from Aleichem Akiva, L'nishmas, our unforgettable chief, Chaim Gabriel ben Arya Yoel Jacobson, Zechron Levracha. Spanish year sponsor, weekly anonymous in honor of Onur Ergelamidi. Daily sponsors anonymous. For Refor Shleima and Arichas Yom, to my dear wife, Chana Mindel Bas Rezel, she should have her Refor Shleima. By Peretz Chaim Levin. Refor Shleima for my father, Avram Yaakov ben Chana Bluma. Should have Refor Shleima. By Peretz. What are you holding? 3,000 already. It's really Bernstein, Refor Shleima, to Shmuel, Yehuda, Ben Sara, Vitel. My Chavrusa tells me, I saw that Really Bernstein sponsored something in your Sefer Torah. I said, read it again. It's really Bernstein. I guess that's who's over there. By Avi Yunger, the famous Avi Yunger, in honor of my 29th birthday, and as it's supposed to find my Zivug B'Korov, Amen. Anonymous, Yerachmiel Moshe ben Itam Masha, Refor Shleima to recover from a stroke. Amen. Refor Shleima, MDY Art, Mandler, Refor Shleima Mordechai ben Esther. Refor Hayeled, Daniel Zev ben Ayelet Esther. We have fascinating sugyas today, new musagim. Here's a question that we're going to be discussing. What if a person shechs an animal inside its mother's stomach while the mother's pregnant? You hear, Michael? You hear the shayla? You don't hear the shayla? Reminds you of 8th grade. You hear the shayla? Takes the knife, sticks it in, shechs the animal while the animal's in the stomach. Shechted or not shechted, what do you say? How? I'm going to show you a video how it happened. It's pashut. Very, very pashut. When you see the video, everything will be understood. All right, so we're holding by 6 lines from the bottom. Omer Rav Yosef. So we had a muslig. It's again. Here's the muslig. Rabbi Sai, in the middle of shir, Dave threw it in. It was Givaldi because I forgot about Nipul. What in the world is Nipul? Go ask people in Shul, do you know about Nipul? They'll say no. So you say, you got to join the daf. Because if you only came to learn that one musag, every day we're learning new musagim. Nipul. Nipul is when an animal dies, the dangling limb is considered as if it fell off right before the misa. Nipul. We consider it Ever Min Achai. Do we say that by misa? And only by misa, or also by shechita? The difference is, if you shecht an animal and the dangling leg is considered part of the animal, and the shechita is a good shechita, so the shechita is metared, it's no longer an avela. If it falls off a moment before the shechita, then it's Ever Min Achai. So the Gemara says over here, Omer Rav Yosef, Nekoite Rav Yitzchak bar Yosef, biyadach, what Rav Yitzchak bar Yosef said yesterday, that when it comes to shechita, it's perfect. Shechita loy oisa nipul. Meaning, it's like, it's afuch al afuch, it's, what's the word? Counterintuitive, exactly. Counterintuitive almost, in the way we read it. Shechita loy oisa nipul. In other words, it doesn't do anything wrong, it's great. Shechita is great, it has an effect on the animal like a regular shechita. This leg was shechted. And misa does do nipul, so a moment, if the animal just drops dead from a heart attack, then a moment before it died, its foot detached, and maybe it's Ever Min Achai, not nevela. As Rashi says on top over here in Daf Ayin Daled Amud Aleph, it's another nafkamina. Yesterday I was telling you a different nafkamina that Rashi says over there, that the nafkamina is if a piece of meat falls off of Ever Min Achai, it's not matama. But if it falls off a nevela, it's still tameh. But Rashi over here says another thing. We know that when you warn, Edom warn somebody, don't do an Aveira, they have to know what they're warning. You can't warn somebody not to kill someone and say, hey, don't be Michal Shabbos, and he's a murderer. When somebody's about to eat something, you have to say, don't eat an Aver Menachai. You can't tell them, don't eat an Avela. You have to say the proper words. It can't be a Suffolk Asra. It has to be a real Asra, not a Suffolk Asra. It has to be the proper Asra. If we're dealing with Aver Menachai, so it's Aver Menachai, you have to say, hey, if you eat this Aver Menachai, you're going to get Malchus. If you use the wrong words, you say, hey, if you're going to eat this Lakshin Kogel, you're going to get Malchus. It doesn't work. If you're going to eat Nevela instead of Aver Menachai, it doesn't work. Anyway. The Rabbi Bar Bachana Koikav will say, because Rabbi Bar Bachana holds like that also, the Sanya, because we learned. There's an extra word here. It says, Basar basada treifa loisechelu, don't eat meat in the field, treifa, don't eat. It should say, in the field, treifa, you shouldn't eat. What's ubasar? This case of a dangling limb, and you shechted it, sheinasurin. Oh, so that would sound like that shechita does do nipple. But then he continues. This is the Rabbi Bar Bachana says exactly like Rav Yitzchok Bar Yosef. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, top of Ayin Dal Amar Aleph. This is not a Doiraisa. This is the Rabbanon. Stay away from this dangling limb. Meaning that, of course, Midoraisa, there's no issa to eat this dangling limb. The Rabbanon said you shouldn't eat it. But if Midoraisa, there's no issa to eat it, so Midoraisa, the Shechita worked and it took away the tumah from this dangling limb. It has an effect. Shechita, ein oisa nipol. Yosef Rav Yosef Kamed Rav Huno, Yosef Kamar. Rav Yosef, who later on in this story is going to get upset, he was sitting there and he said, Omer Rav Yehuda, Omer Rav, the famous Talmud of Rav and Shmuel, Rav Yehuda, he says in the name of who? Of his famous Rebbe Rav, the Goladar. He says in the name of Rav, if you eat this dangling limb, you get Malchus. In other words, there's an Issa Deraisa here of Ever Menachai on a dangling limb. The problem is that somebody's going to say in a second, in the name of Rav, the exact opposite, that there's no Malchus. We have a contradiction. So one of the Rabbanim over there said, don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Rav didn't say that. Also in the name of Rav. Mamish a contradiction. What do? You're stuck. Rav Yehuda, the famous Rav Yehuda, he's not going to make a mistake. He says, I heard Rav say that if you eat a dangling limb, you get Malchus. Not a Derabbanan like the top line over here. This is Mamish Deraisa. But I heard in the name of Shmuel Bar Marta, in the name of Rav, that you don't get Malchus. What should we do? He tells, it was Rav Yosef and Rav Huna sitting there. So Rav Huna turns to Rav Yosef and says, what should we do? We have a contradiction to what you said, Rav Yosef. Adrinu Rav Yosef La'ape. He was furious. He turned his head away in anger. I found it 4 times in Shas. In Sukkah, and in Baba Kama, in Brachas. You get this lashon about Rav Yosef. Adrinu Rav Yosef. Omar Lein, Rav Yosef says, he explains, my kushi, it's not even a question. It doesn't even start. We just discussed. There's 2 things that were discussed. Misa and Shechita, the death, dropping dead from a heart attack and getting shechted. They're 2 different halachas. Misa, when an animal dies with a dangling leg, you're right. Misa oisa nipol. That we said. And it's considered an Ever Menachai. On Ever Menachai, you get Malchus. Doisa nipol. But Rav Yehuda, in the name of Rav, was talking about something else completely when it was shechted. They know oisa nipol. We just established, the Rav Yitzchok Bar Yosef biyadach, you should grab this, go with it, that when there's a shechita, it's a perfect shechita, and we don't say that the dangler fell off a minute ago. No, it was on throughout the shechita. The shechita works. How do I know this idea that there's a difference between death and shechita? This is a pasuk referring to shratzim. By the way, I want to show you, just the guys are not sleeping. This is a beautiful chart. I love this chart. But they upgraded it. This is the Shmoyne Shrotzim. Up until 2026. Here's the new one. Shmoyne Shrotzim. They're all in a, what's this guy doing? He's a backpacker. It's crazy. Me and Benny were talking, and in my lobby, I had exactly this guy, a gecko, mamish like that. But he was like white. He's probably still there. You could go check it out. This is schmack stuff. Achbar. Oh, funny stuff. Oh, they're showing you the frog is tar, but the toad is tameh. Okay. Gishmak. Okay. It says about the shrotzim, if one of these 8 guys falls onto anything, falls on a piece of, on a loaf of bread, on a kli, when they're dead, yitma, should become tameh. So what's this v'chal, everything? Lemutei mai, what does it come to exclude? If a mouse, that would be terrible. If live mice touch your kalim, and you live in a place that they have mice, here in Eretz Yisrael, it's not so common, unless you live like on the first floor or something. But usually you don't, it's not a thing. In America, it's very common. It's Brooklyn, Far Rockaway, it's all... yeah, over here they have lizards. Lizards are even more tummy. You're right. But they don't come into your house usually. If they're alive and they touch your things, don't worry about it. It doesn't become tummy. How? It says, no, but I don't need a pasuk for that. It says, they're nevela, they're dead. So what do I do with this pasuk? How do I learn that from here? So for that, you need Rashi. Rashi says beautiful. Yipol, we're talking about nipol. You see Rabbi Isai? This is what R Eli was screaming yesterday. Oh, it's a mefurish pasuk. I'm sure he didn't see it in the Gemara. He's mechaven to this Gemara. Through the misa, the nefila happened. When they die, then their dangler becomes a fallen item and it becomes a Ever Min HaChai. How are you bringing? How are you going? How are you jumping? Making the jump from a sheret, from a mouse and a lizard, to a cow. A sheret, there's no shchita. There's not. We're talking about shchita. Lo yoisenipol, misa oisenipol. There's no shchita by a sheret. He says, yeah, you're right. There's no shchita by a sheret. But what we're going to do? We have a beautiful limud here, and I can't use it for sheret. So I'm going to have to use it for the cow. This is a common musig in the Torah. If there's a limud and I can't use it here because it doesn't apply here, I'm going to use it for another place.
The shchita chelek is only inferred. It's a funny limud.
It is. It's a very funny limud.
We're talking about misa. We say, okay, misa there is, but shchita there isn't. So we say, well, we're talking about shvatim. We say, well, yeah, but shvatim aren't shaykh to shchita.
No, time out. We start. You're right, but it starts by the misa part.
Right.
The misa part you get, but the whole misa part is not by sheretz. So and once you know that part, then I say, but shchita not. Listen, it's one of these things. In this case, I don't believe that Rebbe Kiva came and invented this limud from scratch. This is a limud that Moshe Rabbeinu. It's like you can't come to such a conclusion on your own.
Rashi says you don't even need misa because it's talking about only minat lasa.
Because what?
The misa part is not there. It goes straight to shchita. Straight to shchita, and it can't be shchita by a sheretz. It has to be this. But wait a minute. Oh, so pay attention to this because this is one of the best videos. The Israelis love this video. I was scared to show it. I have to tell you the truth. Seriously. Something in me is like, I don't want to start up with a certain... Oh, it was right. We'll show it. The Kavod HaTorah will show it. He says, listen to this chiddush. Here, another chiddush that we didn't know. Shalom Aleichem in the back. What's your name? Again. And you have beautiful mishkafayim, by the way. Givaldi. Listen, you'll learn that it takes about... There's a kid here. Yesterday I said, Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? No, there's a kid last night. He's sitting right over there. His brother served pizza to everybody. Last night he brought like 20 pies because he did a year from 12 to 13, a full year. So I'm looking at it. I said, Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? He goes, I've been sitting here for a year. But he wasn't sitting in that seat. He was sitting in the guest table. So from, guest table, so I'm like, automatically, it's a guest. I don't know if I could trust that kid, but he was here a lot. That's what he was trying to say. Anyway, Ilan, you said? From Mishkafayim. Now, if tomorrow you come without your Mishkafayim, I'm not going to recognize you. It's all over. It's a done deal. We start all over again. Yeah. Says the Gemara. Listen to this. It's a chiddush. What kind of rat, what kind of mouse is matama? Only a fresh, juicy mouse. If it's dried up, nothing. That's a chiddush. I need a pasuk for that. Vakati miboyle kei misa. Lachim itamin. I'm about to show you this video. You're gonna. Ay. Kei lachim itamim. You now, Noam, you'll know why I called you up last night to tell you, hey, expect some sirens in the middle of the night. Kei misa lachim itamim. Yivei shemei itamim. If the mouse is dried up, what is it called? Like a dry, not a dry litvak. Yiveshim, no tumah, no tumah. Okay, let me show you this video. Wow, scary stuff. I'm taking a big risk here. Playing with fire. That's the idea.
تو ساعدنا على همهاش النش
Du kennst halten die Miete und während Tame Bechlau. Es ist ein patrouter Scherz. Verlos sich auf mir. Ich bin ein Jid, ein Mossad-Agent.
All right. Yeah, I was in an elevator with that guy. My wife was in the elevator. It was the three of us, and I was like, should I take him out now? And I look around, there's like a little video camera in the elevator. Like, no, bemes, I had a machshava. Maybe it's a good time now. He's a roid diff. Let's go. Anyway, fine. Huh?
We used to prank call when you almost moved.
Yeah. Don't say it loud, because now he knows who you are. I hope. Okay, says the Gemara. Oh, so I need a pasuk to say that if these oisgewebte, how do you say in Yiddish? Wer sagt in Naftul? You know Yiddish? This is why unique. Weiß besser von dir. Ausgetrechend.
I might not be frozen.
Hello, I might not be from, but I know Yiddish. Wer soll? Ausgetrechend is much better. That's better. Naftul, you're right. Ausgetrechend. What are you hacking and shining?
I said ausgetrechend.
It's on video. He did not say ausgetrechend. He did?
Yeah.
He said it like a Wayunik or something. The Rav used to speak a gesunte Yiddish. Wow. That was good. Listen to his tapes. The best. Says the Gemara, Trey b'moisim ksivi. Listen to this. Here. Eilat meila b'moisam. It says b'moisam. So I have two limudim. You need a limud for dried out mouse. You got a b'moisam. You need a b'moisam for our sugya. You have it. So we have Trey b'moisam. Omar Rav Chizda. Machlokes, the famous machlokes that we've been discussing in the Mishnah of the animal. Let's go back to this animal that stuck its leg out and you shechted the mother. And then you cut the leg off. Does the tumah from the leg transfer over to the rest of the fetus? Machlokes be'ever duber chai. When the fetus is alive, then it works. It's like the mother. It's alive. The shechita transfers over. Doesn't transfer over. The shechita of the mother doesn't have an effect on a dead fetus. It's something else, a different min. And therefore, once you shech the mother, then it's considered as if this limb fell off before and it's ever menachai. There's no difference between whether the animals are alive or not. Rabbi Isai, maybe help me out over here. I need help. Chadesh yomeinu, Chadesh yomeinu, kekedeve, hay v'noshuva, hay v'noshuva, hay v'noshuva. That's why I need Aryeh. He himself would have taken the whole thing. Ben Shmoyna Chai. Oh, Ben Shmoyna Chai. So we had in the Mishnah a very long discussion. We should actually try to see this Mishnah inside. It's long, easy. Benayin L'Treifo, where the red line here. Blow it up here a little bit. The Mishnah talks out. There's a back and forth in the Mishnah, and it's important to know this Mishnah. How do you know that when you shecht an animal that has a treifa, like we're going to see a piece of meat from the treifa, turns out that our sheep was mamish a treifa. How do you know that when you shecht it, it removes the tumah? Says the Mishnah, Af treifa asur b'achila. You have a horse. It's also to eat. A treifa is also. Ma be'ema tmeya ein shchitas mitaros af treifa loy titareno. So says the Mishnah, what's the difference between a lion that you shecht? It's not going to work, the shchita, so it shouldn't work on a treifa. Loy titareno shchita. Loy amarta be'behema tmeya shloi hoysel shasa kosher. So the Mishnah goes into, a non-kosher animal, you can never shecht it. Not even one moment in its life was it kosher. Time of a treifa, kosher. But a treifa, at one point in time in its life, you were able to shecht it. So right away the Mishnah asks, I should know the treifa, and I bet them, and what if it was born with a treifa? A non-kosher animal doesn't have in its min, no lion could ever be shechted. And then the Mishnah says all the way at the end, and this is where we're holding now in the Gemara, Ben Shmoyna Chai. What if it was born in the 8th month? Like a human being that's born in the 8th month, in the time of the Gemara, was not a viable child. An animal is born in the 8th month. Ein shchitasoi mitaharasoi. The shchita does not give it any tahara. And what does the Mishnah finish off in red? Lefi she'ein b'minoi shchita. There is no such thing as a 8-month-old, in the 8th month of pregnancy, a shchita. There is no such thing. The Gemara is going to ask a contradiction that says mefurish yesh. We're saying ein, and our Mishnah says lefi she'ein b'minoi shchita, and we're going to see where it says yesh b'minoi shchita. Ben Shmoyna Chai. Says the Gemara Vatanya. Now, the reason why I read the whole Mishnah is because that this brisa is actually a continuation of the Mishnah. It doesn't agree with our Mishnah, and it continues on with the argument. Vatanya Ben Shmoyna Chai yochiach she'af al pi sheyesh b'minoi shchita ein shchitasei mitaharasei. You could shecht it, but it doesn't do anything. But in our Mishnah it says lefi she'ein b'minoi shchita. What it meant is, in the Brisa, yesh b'minoi, not it itself, through its mother. The mother you could shecht, and it would have affected the uber, so that's considered yesh b'minoi. He doesn't agree to that. That's the mother. We're talking about the actual vlad, the uber, the fetus. In the fetus, there's no min. What are you telling me? The mother could have done it. The mother, we're not talking about the mother. Well, like Tana the parich, and the Tana that does say it's a good shaila. So at the end of the day, he doesn't have a source to tell us where you know that a treifa, when you take, in our case, we shechted a sheep next door by Prussian, and he opens it up and he says, it's bad news. Treifa. The last time I did that mitzvah, I don't know if most of you probably didn't do the mitzvah of giving the matnas kahuna to a kohen. or to somebody that's married to a kohen. That was 7.5 years ago, almost 8 years ago. I bought the sheep because I wanted to be Mekayim the mitzvah, and I gave the Zerah L'Chayim Mekeva to my Chavrus who was married to Kohanis, and it works. Mekayim the mitzvah. So okay, Hill said, I want to buy the sheep. He said, I want to serve it at my siyum or something. I said, I'm sorry. I've been waiting for it for a few years. I need to buy it. And so I paid for it. And then he, sorry, Eli, it's a treif. Hillel, you want to buy it now? Shalom, gone. The money into the toilet. It was good. It was well spent, but into the toilet. On a treifa. Are you going to give him a tray? You can't eat it. It's a slap in the face. Here's some meat you can't eat. Oh. A lot of people's favorite parak of all time, Il Treifus. So, how do you know that that animal, and we have a piece of meat I'm going to show you from that animal, a nice sized piece, it doesn't have any tumah. Doesn't have tumah. Why? Because we shechted it. But it's treif. You can't eat it. A Jew cannot eat it. He called up afterwards and he said, listen, not only the sirchas that I found, but there's something I forgot. I don't even know what it is. It's treif. Don't feel bad. It's not a b'di'evet treif. It's a mamsha l'chatchila treif according to everybody. Treif, mahadrim treif, he said. So, but there's no tumah. But how does he know it? Naf kalem the Rabbi Yudam Rav. He learns it from Rav. Rabbi Yudam Rav. V'amir l'bem Satani says. Some say it says in the Bryce. Omar Kro. V'chiyomos mina behema. This animal dies from the animal, from min. So you learn mixas behema metamo, mixas behema ein metamo. Some animals give off tumah, some don't. What does that mean? If it dies naturally, then there's tumah. But if you shechted it, even though you can't eat it, la halach, it's the same thing as the other tray, as the nevela. No, but it doesn't give off tumah. Real quickly, I got to tell you the story because I heard it yesterday. I don't want to forget the story. It's a very cute story. It could be true. It's possible it could be true. A guy goes to Rav Shteiman. There's a few things you can learn from the story. Everybody can take out a little piece. I thought it's a nice, cute story. Guy goes to Rav Shteiman, and he says that his daughter is 29 years old. She doesn't have a shidduch. So Rav Shteiman says, daven stark. He says, I do. Me and my wife and my daughter, every day we sit down and we daven. So he says, look, if you daven and it's not working, then maybe something's wrong with your mouth that's daven. Maybe you're not makbid on Lashon Hara. He says, we're very super makbid on Lashon Hara. No, mamish, we do Chavetz Chaim every day, makbid. So he says, so then act like the Chavetz Chaim for 3 days. Whatever that means. But he's super makbid. Like, go. So he says, okay. So he starts, Vayihi bayoyim hashlishi. You don't even have to wait 9 months. 3 days later, a guy's at a wedding, and he sees a bacher that he knows is struggling with shidduchim, whatever. He says, did you ever get married? He says, no. He says, what about that girl that you went out with 4 years ago? You went out with this girl 5-6 times, and at the end, this guy decided it's not for him. He says, no, maybe you should rethink it. He goes, you're right. Since I went out with that girl, I didn't meet a girl like that. It's a good idea. Not only that, I'm already wearing my student jacket, I had my tie on, I took a shower, shaved. Right now, let's go, call her up. So he calls her up, and that's this girl. But here's the crazy part of the story that I don't like so much, but if you live in Eretz Yisrael, you understand it completely, and if you can see this for sure. They go out that night, and he said, listen, I already dated you 4 years, I know you inside out. Let's go, right now, tonight. So that night, they closed the shidduch. So what do you see from here? A lot of things. You should act like the Chavetz Chaim. Zog the Gemara. Boy, Rav Yishaya, hoished this yodel imea behema. Oh! And this tzaddik over here, I don't even know your name. What's your name? This is your second time here, I know.
Helper.
What's your last name? Helper. And first? Reuben Helper. Reuben said, how's it possible? So first of all, it's possible. But I'm going to show you a video how it's possible. It's very important, this, because on the bottom of this Amud, we're going to see that Rebbeir holds there is no ben pekua on a 9-month baby. Once the animal's full term, Ben Pekua expires. Ben Pekua is anything up until full term. An 8 month, a 7 month, not a 9 month. But Chacham argue, they say any age. Oh, so you go into a full term baby and you shech the baby in utero, however you say it. Utero, whatever. I don't know how to say it well. So let me show you how it's done. There's a way to do it other than what... That's Rav Amitai ben David.
See this again to do. You ready?
The cow's not masking. That part, no. I guess he expanded eventually. Okay, but if you want to know, that's how it's... Now you chaper, Reuven? Now makes sense? Okay. One question. I don't have videos for all your questions. Huh? How? How do you know? What do you mean, how do you know?
I know when you get pregnant. How do you know?
How do you know? Kasha from Maisa. They know that there was a Zachar there for 1 day on Rosh Chodesh Adar, and you do the math. I don't know how. Trust me, in the farms, they know exactly. Exactly. I was at a farm, they have a birthing room there. Anytime you go throughout the year, there's a cow giving birth. Any time of the day. They have 3 cows in there. They know exactly when they are, how they are, and you sit there, there's a glass, and you watch the whole thing. On the way from Chicago to Indianapolis, massive milking farm, Oberweis, I think it's called. Check it out. Oberweis? Is that? I mean, I just made it up, maybe. So, questions according to everybody. Remeir says that a 9-month baby, a full term, needs shchita. When it was born, it comes into the ear of the world. But what if you go into the mother? It doesn't work, the shchita. Of course this animal needs shchita, but it doesn't work in utero. But maybe you could go even according to Rabbanan that say that this animal doesn't need a shchita. Why? Because it's a ben pekua, and if you shech the mother, it's enough. But maybe Rabbanan hold, maybe there's 2 ways to shech this animal. One way is to shech the mother. The other way is to shech it. Says Reb Chananya Toshma, Hareshin all the treifa min habeten. It says in our Mishnah that if this animal, and I even read it now, it was born a treifa in the stomach. So they didn't have a shasa kosher. The Mishnah said it never was able. You couldn't shech it. Why? It was born with a treifa. But the Gemara understands now that that treifa happened moments before it was born, days before. But it wasn't created with a treifa. It became a treifa later on, but it was born with the treifa. But this animal was born, what's today's date? July what? July 13th. July 13th is born with a treifa. But on July 10th, it didn't have a treifa. So maybe on July 10th, you could have gone in to the stomach and shechted it then. So it did have a moment of shasa kosher where you could have shechted it 3 days earlier. According to you, so you see from here, you can't go into the stomach. That's not considered shasa kosher. No, there's an animal that never had, not July 10th, not July 1st, not 4 months before. Why? Because it has an extra limb. When it's created with the extra limb, it's on the spot a treifa. Why? Kol yeter kenotel dami. If you have an extra limb, it's as if you have 1 minus. Not only you don't have 5, you only have 3, not 4. You have 3. Do we have time for this interesting video? Yes, we're only 42 minutes in. I'll show you this interesting video. Some people, there's a lot of Actually, the complaints didn't come in. I don't know if they're not showing me the emails. We covered the World Cup, I guess. But this is a treifa. Why? Because it has too many. It's great in soccer, but it's a treifa. What? 10 is Messi, I know, but his name is not Messi. Treifa, so he died. Treif Musi. His name is Musi. Okay. Loidim said we shouldn't have shown it because there's something about Messi's playing tonight or something.
Yeah, the game. I guess
Wednesday. Okay. What? Versus England. It's real. You watch this shtusim. Noira. I thought you were a Daf Yid. Alex, you let him watch this? No, he doesn't watch it. He watches the highlights. That's okay. He can watch it also. Just the Daf he watches. Exactly. Just the Daf of soccer. That's Moiradik. Just the Daf of soccer. No, just the Daf is not highlights. It's not it's the whole thing. Just, oh, you're saying without the jokes, it's just the highlights. I hear. I'm not reviving what you just said. After. Hashoichet is a behemo. If you check, it's real. How do you know this stuff? It's crazy. In America, like in yeshiva, they're like you walk in the hallways and they're handling. You know, they traded the Derek Jeter to this one and that one. He came up. No, but he's much better than it's a whole. No sports is a whole. So you know, it's a mamsha world. So knows when they're playing. No. So, 8 month fetus is not a full term, so it's not a problem. This is a typical ben pekua. Even if it's, I thought this is a big chiddush. A lot of people thought it's a chiddush. If you find a dead baby inside a mother after you shecht, you're allowed to eat the dead baby. Allowed to eat it. You hear Rabbi Agreement? I know it's gross, but you're allowed to eat it. Chai, okay. Chai is interesting also. It's walking around. It's a year or 2 years old. You take a bat, knock it over the head, and then you start eating it. So you don't need shchita. Oi ben teisha meis. Or in the 9th month, full term, but it's dead. Koiroi, you rip it open. You don't even have to shecht it. You just tear it open, and you start eating. But, says the Mishnah, umoitzi is damai. So think about this for a second. An animal has a bunch of things that are no good about it. You can't eat the blood. You can't eat the chaylev, the fats. You can't eat the gid anasha. So now the Mishnah just told us a secret. You cannot eat the blood of a ben pekua. What about the fats? What about the gid anasha? You allowed to? Maybe those things, yes. Matzah ben tisha chai. What if it's a full-term baby? So Reb Meir is going to say, ton shchita. According to Reb Meir, you can't do a ben pekua. Now you need a shechted. V'chai ba'osev es benoi. That's next parak. There's a mefurish pasuk that says that you cannot eat a mother and her offspring on the same day. That's next parak. Since the baby, the fetus, is not part of the mother, so you're not allowed to eat both of them on the same day. If it's part of the mother, you could shecht one, and the other one becomes shechted automatically. It's as if you shechted it. It's one. It's like eating the leg of the mother. You're allowed to eat it in one day. Chacham say no, even if it's a full-term baby in the 9th month, it's okay. Reb Shimon Shizuri Omer, we're going to have to understand what he adds, Reb Shimon Shizuri. This animal is a full-term animal, and it's plowing away in the field. You could 5 years ago, you shechted the mother, you walk over to him, you kill it and eat it. What if you didn't shecht the mother? You just killed an animal with a gun. And then you look inside and you see a baby. Maybe I would think that's a ben pekua, you don't have to shecht it. No, ton shchita. It's only because you shechted the mother. Yeah. Wow. Bayadar Global, the official non-corporate sponsor of the MDY League, Encore Healthcare has a schus for all of Klal Yisrael. Believe it or not, we have 13 minutes for shir. It's enough. Omar Rabbi Elazar, I know it's late over here. Oh, we had a late start. Omar Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shai, lo hilcha boy elo al iski shchita belvad. What a ben pekua accomplishes is only one thing, that you don't have to shecht it. Lemute mai. Lemute, where's my meat here? Oh, wow. Lemute. Chel boy v'gidoy. The fat and the gid anosha. So the chelav. Chel boy demai. So Rashi takes out these words completely. He says it's impossible. He says a very stark lashon. He says, Aval pi shuhu b'chol asfarim. You see this girsa in all the Gemaras. Emes hadavar shu shibush. It's 100% a mistake. V'lo yesh chacham asher yishivenu al kanoi. There's not one chacham that can make sense with this line. We're going to see the same thing he does in the next Gemara. He says, take it out. Taisa says, you don't have to take it out. But Rashi doesn't say on the next Gemara, there's no chacham in the world. Over here he says, there's no chacham. Nobody could explain it. The only way to explain this line is because there's an identical Gemara in Perek Gid Anosha, and by mistake, they took the same words of that sugya and put it over here. A shibush, a mistake. I'll call part of it. So it says, the point is, miflag pligi. That's a machloikis if you're allowed to eat the chelev and the gid. The time you get anosha, noig b'shlil, v'chel boy, aser. Shlil is the fetus. And by the way, just as a side note, because we're writing Sefer Torah now, all klaf of all stam, like Sefer Torah, Tefillah Mezuzah, is all written from a shlil. Meaning, we were in the factory, we saw them. If you ever noticed, the Sefer Torah, it used to be a whole thing, I could do Hagba. Today, even a 50-year-old could do Hagba. It's garnished. Why? Because it's half the weight, because we use shlil. So, Gid Anosha noig b'shlil v'chel b'yaser. That's one man. Rameir says that it's also to eat the chelev. As Gemara is going to explain, Rameir holds that the mother and the fetus are not connected. So if they're not connected, it's real chelev, real gid. It's not true. The gid anosha is mutter. You're allowed to eat a gid anosha. Here's a question: how are you allowed to eat a gid anosha? You're allowed to eat a gid anosha of ben pekua and the chelev of a ben pekua. You see, that's why the guy in Australia wanted to make ben pekua farm, because there's no problem of gid anosha, there's no problem of chelev, there's no problem of treifa, nothing. All the problems go away. He says, Machloik is ben tishel chai. Rameir holds in the 9th month, the full term. Rameir says it's a regular animal. You can't do a ben pekua, so therefore it's a regular animal. Chelev zaser, gid anosha zaser. He says no. Here Rashi takes out these 4 lines. Elachel be the gid miflik pligi the side. You gid anosha mechatet achar b'chol makim shu. V'chodesh shmonoi me'i karoi. Where are my gloves? Oh, here. Oh, this is very gishmak. Rada, it's gishmak. Chaval Rashi takes this out. We're putting it back in just for the shear, so you could show and tell. Parents, you ready for this? It's a good thing. No, this is not a... I just have to make sure I push this back over here a little bit. No, not that. Here, bring it over here. Yeah, away from my Gemara is what I'm trying to say. Wow. Gish, Makmod. Check this out. This is a gid, right over here. This is the gid. Look at this. You see this gid? This is the gid anosha right over here. And if you look closely, this is the fat that we're talking about right over here. The chelev. It's in the gid. You see the gid? It's very strong, this gid. It goes all the way up here. So the machlokes is, do you take off this piece of fat and just leave this meat gishmak? That's what he's talking about in a second. Or I have to go in deep and take out the fat. It has nothing to do. The Torah says don't eat a gid anasha right over here. Don't eat this. But we're makbid because it's, next to it, part of it, so we take off this fat. But this machlokes, how much? Okay, so he says like this. That's pretty much it. You have to go deep in and get that fat out. Just up to the meat. That's it. This part. Get rid of this. Benny comes to me after Meir. He says, "You're not going to believe this. I had a knife in my hand. I was going to cut this fat out so it's nice and easy for you to show. No, he didn't realize that was the whole shear. That piece of fat in there. He's like, but for whatever reason, he decided, Mamish, what was the pasuk he used? Shalom Hashem. Hashem loves MDY. Okay, so, I had the gloves on. Fine, we'll just leave it there for now. 7 minutes, just leave it there. Gishmak. It looks good on camera. Nobody can smell what I smell. No, it's fine. Hello, Itmar, Itmar. It's treif, chazer. This Yid cannot eat this. A second ago we said the whole point of Ben Pekua is that you don't have to do shchita. No, a different point. Eating. You're allowed to eat whatever you want. Machlokes, chayil not, but in eating. Ben Pekua is for eating. Limute, what does it come to exclude? Roivoi v'chorish boy. That since it's a real animal, so you don't view it as just like a limb of an animal. So there's a isser of revia, bestiality on this animal, and also the isser of plowing, like this. Just there's this is chamar v'shor yachtav. Beautiful. It's considered two different types of animal. It's considered a real animal, so you're not allowed to plow with another animal. צדיק, לא לזוז, הלוך חזור, אתה מפריע לי, לעמוד בצד ולא לזוז. תודה. אומר רב שמעון מלוקיש, לדברי המטר בחל בוי מטר בדומוי, if it's mutter to eat the fat of an animal, so you're allowed to eat the blood of the animal, לדברי האויסר בחל בוי, אויסר בדומוי. They're interchangeable, they're connected. Not interchangeable, what's the word I'm looking for? Inter-something. Maybe interdependent. Interdependent. If you're not allowed to eat the chaylev, you're not allowed to eat the blood. But if you're allowed to eat the chaylev, you're allowed to eat the blood. Even if you're allowed to eat the fat, it's no connection to the blood. Blood is aser, fat is mutter. It seems like a bomb question. It says Mefurish in our Mishnah, what do? You cut open the animal and you get rid of the blood. So you see you're not allowed to eat the blood. Omer Bzeira, you're right, you're not allowed to eat the blood. But what Rish Lakish meant to say is that the strong isser of kares, kol nefesh shtoichel kol dam v'nichrasa, that we don't have. Loimer shein onush kares. Why? Because the isser kares is only on dam nefesh. What's dam nefesh? There's dam nefesh and dam tamtzis. The blood that comes out in a burst, that's dam nefesh. That's where the kares is. The rest of the blood that trickles out, I'm going to show you videos. So if you're sensitive to blood, what's my favorite guy with the cowboy hat's name? No, not. He's my favorite guy with the cowboy hat. But this is the bacher, the guy that I bought his hat off him. Mordechai Weiss. Check this out. Mordechai Weiss, do not watch this. This is Dam HaNefesh. Right there, Dam HaNefesh. And then it starts trickling. The trickle is also to eat, but no kares. That's what he says. Now, in a Uber, there's no Dam HaNefesh. L'man kamrinon. As the Gemara, it sounds like a great answer, but if you do the math, it doesn't work. Because we're only trying to figure it out according to Rabbi Yehuda. And Rabbi Yehuda says there's no difference between Dam HaNefesh and Dam HaTamtzis. So this answer doesn't work. Why are we only trying to figure it out according to Rabbi Yehuda? Because Rabbi Yehuda is the one that holds what? Chaylev is mutter. You're trying to say Chaylev is mutter, but Dam is also not. There's no difference according to Rabbi Yehuda himself between Dam Tamtzis and Dam HaNefesh. Rabbi Yehuda, lo yeh Dam HaTamtzis. The Sanya, Dam HaTamtzis ba'azara. Rabbi Yehuda being kares, even Dam Tamtzis, the trickle, you get kares. Tigam Rabbi Yisrael of Salah Chasid coming there a papa. Is Rabbi Yehuda Dam v'chol Dam. No, you're right, but it could go according to Rabbi Yehuda. Because in this case of a fetus, he has a special pasuk that tells me dam and kol dam. Here we go, kol dam. In a regular animal, you're right. Rabbi Yehuda holds that if there's a chiyuv on both, dam tamtzis, dam nefesh, all the same. But in our case of a ubar, by a fetus, there's no dam nefesh. There is no Isser of damatamtzis. We'll stop over here because we are late. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Whoops.